everybody? It is your favorite NBA Yap artist, Slightly Biased, back at it once again with another NBA Ramble video. Yes, guys, it really is me. Please try and keep it level-headed. Like, every time I step outside, I already get, oh my God, that's Slightly Biased. Oh my God, that's really him. My favorite NBA Yap artist. Guys, whenever we're here, I just want it to be me and you. Okay, I just want it to be cool and calm and collected. So can we just keep that between you and me, please? Just like that. Thank you. We got a lot to go over from a busy slate of games last night. We're going to talk about something from every single game, which I don't know if we've done yet. So if you guys like this type of content, daily NBA content, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. Let's get right into it. Getting close to 10,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. Nespresso. Yep. Greatness as always. Let's get into it. Let's start here. Hand up. I got to say I was incorrect about a couple of things. Okay. Guys, an important life lesson. I want you guys to write this down. An important life lesson, always admit when you're wrong. Because if you admit when you're wrong, people then respect you more. Now, the thing is we're hardly ever wrong, right? And if you admit when you're wrong, then you can take celebratory laps whenever you're right and shit on everybody and remind everybody how smart you are, because then they're going to respect you more. Okay, so make sure you write that down. It's all, in the end, it's all about being right and having a leg up on everyone else. So every now and then you have to tone yourself down just a little bit, but you're not doing it out of the actual kindness of your heart. You're doing it to make yourself look better in the long run. Okay, so Mavericks get blown out by the Timberwolves, whatever. They were 14-point underdogs. Yeah, they're a terrible ass team. Nothing really to say about that. Cooper Flag, only 10 shots. Yes, it's disgusting. It's pitiful. It's horrific. It's awful. It's god-awful, garbage ass product that nobody wants to watch. I agree with you guys 100%. Hey, I agree with you guys 100%. Why is he getting 10 shots? I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. Okay. One thing I've started to realize with all of these bigs out for the Mavericks, there is zero reason why Cooper Flag should not be leading the team in screen set every single game. I don't care if he's not strong enough to set screens yet. I don't give a fuck. Just have him do it, please. All right, enough of just having him sprint to the corner. He should be setting cross screens. He should be setting down screens. He should be setting ball screens. He should be setting screens all the time to get him an opportunity to get the ball. It's ridiculous and preposterous. Okay, now I want to say hand up, I was wrong about something. D'Angelo Russell's been a catastrophe. He's been a disaster. I can't believe this stat to be true, but after an 0 of 5 shooting performance last night from 3, he is 3 for his last 30. 3 for his last 30 from three-point land. How the fuck is that even possible? Honest to God, how is that even remotely possible? And then, of course, you've got, shout out to Panda Hank, of course, you've got this possession from last night where he's dribbling the ball across the key for 21 seconds before throwing a grenade to Najee Marshall. This is literally like, if you guys played, I don't remember which 2K it was, 2K15 maybe? Look at Najee in the corner. Wait, hold on. Look at Najee in the corner. Genuinely wondering what the hell is going on before getting tossed this grenade, and he's got to throw up a prayer 3 because, well, this offense has got awful. I thought, look, I was not oblivious to the pitfalls of D'Angelo Russell. Okay, I was actually very aware of what they were, but I did think to myself, yeah, sure, D'Angelo Russell, not a great player. There's a reason why he's available for the money he's available for, despite the fact that he has been an all-star game, and despite the fact that he's not like too terribly old yet. There's a reason why he's available for the money he's available for, but his strengths as a player, his ability to shoot the 3 ball, his ability to create for others and be kind of a pick and roll ball handler guy is the exact 2 things this Mavericks team really needs. So just for the time being, until Kyrie Irving comes back, he's perfectly fine. And then he could come off the bench. I didn't think it'd be anything more than that, anything less. Well, it actually has been much less. It's been actually way less than that. It's been really bad and horrible. And like I mentioned, 3 of 30 in his last 30 attempts from 3. Guys, that's 10%. That's 10%. I pick a random chatter from my community and throw them out there, and we'll see. Honestly, we'll see. It's been so bad that it's hard to even put into words. And I kind of feel for him in a way, because he was brought in here to have like a 2-man game with Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis has played 3 games or whatever he's played. The Mavericks have had no bigs. He's brought in here to be this pick and roll ball handler. Like, let's set some guys up, and they've had no bigs to run pick and roll with, which is again why I'm saying like Cooper Flag should be setting ball screens all the time with this team, with this group. So hand up, I was wrong about that. I did not anticipate this being this bad. I didn't even know it was possible for it to be this bad, but it's been really, really terrible with D'Angelo Russell so far. so bad that it's like, well, it can only really go up from here. I mean, can you get worse than 3 if your last 30 from 3? Is it even possible to be worse than that? So anyways, it's just, I was wrong about that. I was also incredibly wrong about Caleb Martin, who I will say defensively is fine, right? Offensively, though, he looks like one of the worst players in the sport. And you might see this game log here from last night and be like, oh, he went 2 of 4, 6 points. Like, what's wrong with that? That was his first game in probably a month where he's made more than 1 field goal. And since November 2nd, going into last night, he made 1 total basket. He's one of the worst offensive players in the sport. His 3-ball has no chance of going in hardly ever. And when players devolve into this, like, zero scoring threat type of player, which we've seen from time to time, you are a black hole on offense. Teams will leave you open for 3. Teams are not worried about you driving to the rim because they know deep down you don't want to score. You do not want to try and lay that ball up. You want to pass the ball. And even though I think, yeah, there's some, like, in a perfect world where Caleb Martin looks even like a fraction of the guy who should have won Eastern Conference Finals MVP only a few years ago. Like, yeah, he's putting pressure on the rim and he's playmaking off of that, and it kind of fits in nicely with this group, but he's just an absolute zero offensively. And I got to put my hand up and say I was wrong again because I defended this fucking piece of shit trade. Okay? Not that I thought Caleb Martin was a better player than Quentin Grimes. I did not believe that to be true at all. But my logic was I understood the idea behind it. You didn't want to pay Quentin Grimes. You weren't going to do restricted free agency. So let's get the contract back that's more long-term in like a salary range that we're cool with, $8 million or whatever Caleb Martin's making. And that way you have that. You can keep him. Like, I thought at the time of the trade, before Kyrie Irving tore his ACL, I was like, yeah, like Caleb Martin kind of fits a need for this team, right? Play defense and can drive and make off of that, whatever the case may be. And yeah, or you could use him as a trade piece down the line. Like, his contract's not that bad to where teams won't want him. Yeah, I think that's where he's at right now. I do not think teams would want him in a trade. So I was wrong about that. I was incorrect. Again, I didn't expect it to be this fucking terrible. So now this right here, Tim Hardaway Jr., who's been very good so far this season off the bench for the Nuggets. We talked about him on here. Tim Hardaway Jr. was traded for Grimes, but then Grimes was traded with an early second for Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin is the worst player of the 3 and is owed the most guaranteed money going forward. Yeah, that's a pretty difficult way to look at it. That doesn't feel great when you look at it that way. Now, I will say, like, obviously, if Tim Hardaway Jr. was making the minimum or whatever he's making now, whenever they did that trade, yeah, that'd be a little bit different. But you had to come off the Tim Hardaway Jr. money. But yes, ultimately, that is how it shaped up. So, I was wrong, guys. My bad. That's on me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for leading you guys astray. Okay. Again, I'm not doing that out of kindness, and I'm not doing that as like a humble thing. I'm doing that because I'm almost gaslighting you guys in a way. So next time you'll know, oh, he's a good guy. He says when he's wrong. So I have to listen to everything he says. You guys see what I'm saying? Write that down and use that in life later on. Okay. Speaking of Quentin Grimes, the Sixers beat the Clippers, another clutch game for the Sixers. We talked about how many clutch games the Mavs have been in 11. I believe the Sixers are now at 11 clutch games as well. The difference is they win. They win their clutch games. I think they're 7-4 or something like that in their clutch games. They've been one of the best fourth quarter teams in the league this season. Actually, I do think they've been the best fourth quarter team in the league so far this season. And a big reason for that is Quentin Grimes has been lights out for them in closing minutes. And he was fantastic in this game last night, kind of taking it over and doing it all late. All 12 minutes in the fourth quarter for Quentin Grimes in this game. 9 points, an assist, and a block, and a couple of very key defensive plays. Defensive fouls? You'll be the judge here in a second. Actually, there's nothing to be the judge of. It was 100% some fouls. But I did a good job on James Harden as well late in this game, even though a few of them, he was fairly lucky that fouls were not called. But him and VJ Edgecombe got a nice little connection. I've noticed that. This is a smooth move right here. Little hesitation right to the rack. Boom, baby. Was late in this game when he had that disgusting sidestep corner 3, or was that earlier in the game? Either way, Quentin Grimes has looked really nice so far this season. Obviously playing with an absurd amount of confidence. He's for sure going to get paid by somebody in the offseason. You would like to think, at least. You would like to think. This was the last play of the game, or one of the last plays of the game. The Clippers again find themselves in one of these games late, close. They're down 2, and they're going for the 3 to not go to overtime because they're done playing overtime. They just had a double overtime game a couple nights ago against the Mavericks. This was a James Harden 3. Obviously, Quentin Grimes 100% fouled him. I think I actually fouled him multiple ways, because if you look down here at the bottom, you can see his feet getting into that landing space area. So the Sixers definitely a little bit lucky that those fouls weren't called. But another bad loss for the Clippers, who are in a dangerous spot. Dangerous spot. Zubac just does not look as good. And I don't necessarily think it's all his fault, because I think he's just being asked with doing so much, because you've got a couple other problems here. Chris Dunn, last year, a big reason why your defense was as good as it was because Chris Dunn was legitimately one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. Something is off with him this year. I don't know if there's an injury thing, or he's just lost a step or something, but he looks nothing like the defender he was a season ago. And when you factor in like Derrick Jones Jr. is going to miss an extended period of time now with the knee injury, they don't have any defenders. Any. So now Zubac is just running around, and he's already a big, aloof giant. Like, that's already asking a lot out of him. So, yeah, I mean, it's bad whenever you see Clippers fans are like, man, just blow it up and build around Kobe Sanders. Man, Kobe Sanders is a 23-year-old rookie. Like, things are bad. Things are bad in Los Angeles. It's just time to maybe accept the fact that the Thunder might be getting a hell of a pick there. Cleveland beats Milwaukee. I don't have much to say about this game. Didn't catch all of it, truth be told. Donovan Mitchell had 37 points on 14 of 22 shooting. I really do think he's been maybe one of the most underrated and underappreciated players. Maybe underappreciated is a better way to look at it. Underappreciated players over the last 3 years. He's been, without a doubt, like easily a top 10 player without even a shadow of a doubt in the regular season, at least over these last few years. And he was fantastic again last night. Obviously, there's the whole this Cavs team's just very weird to talk about because everyone's been burnt by them in the playoffs multiple years. So it's just kind of like, yeah, that's cool. Let's wait and see. What do you guys think about this court? I don't know. It's just like, I love oranges. I'm in an orange phase. I love them. I don't know. It makes me think of oranges. So I do like that, guys. If you like oranges, leave a like down below. Yeah, there's just something a little bit off about these jerseys. What is the reasoning behind them? Is it a throwback? I don't like when teams completely deviate from their original color scheme all that much. But the big story in this one was that Giannis did hurt his groin. Left this game early, got ruled out pretty early. As of the time I'm recording this, we are waiting for an MRI results, but it does seem like he'll probably bare minimum miss some time. Now, what's strange about this is Doc came out after the game, basically insinuated that it wasn't great, but said it happened early in the game and Giannis played through it. Seems very irresponsible to me. But we talked about this before. One of the reasons why I thought Giannis had a pretty solid MVP case was I thought Giannis on this Bucks team would be decent enough to win some games in this Eastern Conference, maybe even be a home court team in the first round. And without him, they are fucking dreadful. So here you go. Milwaukee on offense with Giannis, the best offense in the league without the worst. So if he has to miss any period of time, things get spooky very quickly for this Milwaukee team. Because I do think in years past, at least you had Dame in years past. Obviously, before you went all in on the Dame trade, and before some guys got older, you had the collection of like Brook Lopez and before he was completely washed, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, that could just kind of collectively come together and win games. This time, you got nothing. You've really got nothing. So this would be really spooky. Knicks and Heat, these two teams, baseball series, very competitive, fun games. Again, another thing, hand up, I might have been wrong about, guys. I have to come clean. Kel'el Ware, we were calling him Kel'el Wood, just because I'd watch him like, this guy looks like Christian Wood to me. Like, yeah, he'll do a couple things here and there. We were like, whoa, holy shit, a center's doing that? But ultimately, how much does he really impact the game on a high level? So far this year, I would say actually, especially over the past few weeks, he's been playing at a very high and impactful level. And he was fantastic last night, stepping in without Bam. Bam should be back soon, shouldn't he? What's the prognosis on him? But he's looked very good. Kel'el Ware has. And I think it's kind of important to remember, like, some of the things about him entering the draft was maybe some like processing speed problems, maybe some motor problems. This is a Heat offense that's very, very quick, right? They're quick in getting into the floor. It's motion, it's pace, it's quick decision after quick decision. Maybe it's just taking him some time to get comfortable in that. And now that he's starting to get some consistent minutes, he's starting to really kind of showcase who he is as a player. And that is a talented guy, a skilled guy at that size, the athleticism, the ability to block shots. He's just been a much more impactful player Year 2 as well. Like not even, this isn't like a year 6 or 7 guy. I did not do that intentionally, I promise. Guys, I did not do that intentionally. Okay, please. A year 6 guy. This is a year 2 guy who's making some real legitimate strides. And it could be pretty important for this Miami Heat team moving forward if this is the type of player that he is. But fantastic effort on the offensive boards last night as well against a good rebounding team and a pair of good rebounders. He had Cat looking a little flustered at times, and so did Wiggins. Cat had a horrible game in this one. I don't think it's like an end-all be-all thing for the Knicks without Brunson, without OG. Brunson should be back soon. But it is funny that they basically play an 8-man rotation in this one. Again, they're dealing with a good amount of injuries, but Mikal Bridges went at the last 13 minutes of the game. I don't know if it was without a field goal make or a field goal attempt. I don't understand. How does this happen so often? It might just be Mikal, right? At some point, you just got to demand the ball and go get it, right? But still, he looked so good in the first half of this game, first 3 quarters, and then went nowhere. And Deuce, I mean, they're not even in the game if it's not for Deuce late, but Deuce had a couple shots late where you're like, whoa, buddy. Let's reel it in. You're not Jalen Brunson, okay? And Cat had just a kind of frustrating Cat game. But anyways, Kel'el Ware, you kind of see some of the numbers here. Deflections are up. That passes the eye test. A little bit more locked in defensively, all over the place defensively. The rim protection numbers are fantastic. That's something that he was good at last year. And yeah, I mean, it's just he's been more efficient so far this season. I've liked the amount of shots he's gotten at the rim. I like the looks that he's getting around the rim. His touch has been good this year. His free throw shooting's been good this year. Yeah, this is a second-year guy who's improving quite a bit. So shout out to Kel'el Ware. Shout out to him. Chicago and Denver. Chicago goes into Denver a night after losing a horrible, heartbreaking overtime game to the Utah Jazz and beats the Nuggets in Denver. Very difficult task. Well, there's some crazy stats about teams on the second half of back-to-back playing in Denver and how next to impossible it is to win those games. And their bench mob went nuts. Ayo Dosunmu has been fantastic. We got to speed up a little bit. But Ayo Dosunmu has been fantastic so far this season. And I do think that he's I've seen some Bulls fans calling to start him. I don't think that makes much sense with their roster construction. Like him coming off the bench is a perfect situation. With the ball handlers you have already playing and the fact that you just need some size in the starting lineup. Like Ayo coming off the bench is perfectly good. It allows you to stagger minutes, and he's been really good and been a legitimate 6th man of the year candidate so far this season. Now, if things continue to trend in a downward direction, I say continue to, because the Bulls had kind of, stuttered a little bit over the past few weeks. But yeah, if things continue to trend in that direction and maybe they're just a middling team at the All-Star break or the trade deadline, he's somebody who could be very interesting. But if they decide to keep him, he's a very good player, and he had a nice game last night. Very interesting stat here. We've talked and gushed about this Nuggets bench and how great of an offseason was for them. They got outscored last night by the Bulls bench 66-9. 66-9 was the bench difference there in this game. Oh, yeah. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a rough game, but he's been so good for them. Jonas Valanciunas only took 1 shot. Bruce Brown, are we sure he's a good basketball? Are we sure he's good? Truthfully, deep down. I've watched Bruce Brown so far this season, and all I can think to myself is, well, that's kind of why he's been bouncing around the league. Are we sure? Were we a little too excited about that one? Jamal Murray also had some brain-dead turnovers late in this game that really cost him. I mean, it is what it is for the Nuggets. I'm not worried about them at all. But nice win for the Bulls. OKC Pelicans, I don't have much to say here. This was an ass whooping in every sense of the word from the moment the ball got tipped off. I just have this. Cam Jordan tweeted this out. The foul merchant's alive and well. Get your jokes off. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shooting free throws. Here's the story, guys. Look at this picture, man. Look at this picture. Dude, those are empty seats. Empty seats. I mean, to me, it looks like there's maybe 2,000 people in this stadium, would be my guess. If I had to guess the true attendance of this game, 2,000 or 3,000 people. That's not good, man. That's not good. I've never really bought into this, like, hey, the Pelicans could move. Like, they're a team that could move. I've never bought into that. But damn, man, that is not a lot of players or not a lot of fans of the stands for a game against the reigning world champions. Yeesh. Real quick, Indiana loses to Detroit. Nothing too surprising there. Are we on Ewing Community Watch with Cade Cunningham? No, I'm just kidding. Ewing Theory Watch with Cade Cunningham. No, I'm just joking, guys. I'm just joking. Jalen Duren, though, was fantastic in this game. 31 points. He's been absolutely phenomenal this year. He's playing like an all-star. If the all-star break were today, he would be an all-star without a doubt. 31 and 15 in this game, and you just see the improvement from him year over year. Continuing to get better, continuing to get more confident and comfortable as an offensive player, continuing to expand his offensive game as well, operating more in that mid-range game. And we saw this towards the tail end of last year, him becoming just a dominant pick and roll threat with Cade Cunningham. But we're starting to see that it continue to expand. And he looks like a freight train out there. If your team does not have like good, reliable bigs, Jalen Duren is going to fucking go off. Like, I think he's reached that point where it's like, okay, you got a team full of good bigs. There's still some ways that you can, there's definitely some ways that you can expose Jalen Duren for some of his deficiencies defensively and stuff like that. But if you're a team that's like starting, who is even starting? It's Jay Huff, Isaiah Jackson. Like, you're gonna get picked apart. Okay. You're going to get picked apart and eaten alive, right? That's just who he's turned into. And Charlotte and Toronto, crazy ending to this game. A very, very fun game between these two teams. Toronto's not looking like a half bad basketball team, right? Not looking like a half bad basketball team. Scotty Barnes has been phenomenal so far this season. How about some of the plays Brandon Ingram was making down the stretch of this one? I'm starting to, and this is so fucking stupid, but sometimes you just sort of forget about this. If you've got a player on your team, and yes, Brandon Ingram has his flaws, and yes, Brandon Ingram has his drawbacks and stuff, but look, if you've got a player on your team in the final 22 seconds of a game who can draw this type of attention, maybe we don't overthink these things. Those are good players to have on your team. Okay, now there's like a basketball theory going around out there that if you kind of look at drawing double teams the same as screening, because like screening is something that creates opportunities for you, and in theory, right, a good screen, especially a high screen, should create like a 4-on-3 opportunity for you, right? A man advantage in a lot of ways. If you kind of view drawing doubles as the same advantage creation as screening, these are some of the best screeners in the game. Think about it that way. So anyways, anytime you can get a player on your team that draws this type of attention and can lead to looks like this, you're in good place. But look at this block to save the game. That's the caulk. Guys, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but the caulk hasn't missed a shot all year. What a block. What an unbelievable block by Brandon Ingram. This was a fun game to watch last night. Shout out to these two teams. All right, we've got a busy slate of games tonight. I am a little bit busy, so I won't have time to watch all of them. So we got the wheel here. We'll spin it. Whatever the wheel says, that'll be a game that I watch and we focus on in tomorrow's rambling session. I'm hoping, Jazz Lakers, which I'll probably watch anyways, is the one to go. What are we going to land on? Grizzlies Spurs? This was the one I wanted the least. Fuck.